They taught you how to be insecure about your own worth, Leparalak. That's why eventually you started accepting that, yeah, maybe there is something wrong about you. No child is born insecure, Lepar. Nobody. Your parents teach you insecurity. The media teaches insecurity is a self-learned behavior. But do you know what's the most important thing about you? That I like, actually. That's why I came here to share this message with you. Source was telling me right now that you, collective, your biggest threat was also like it's also two parts. Your biggest threat was not the fact that you can switch and do new things and evolve when they attack one area. Maybe you have a new business, they attack you in that and nothing works out, you don't get clients, you start another one, you succeed. You understand? You are not attached to labels. You are not a person who's into reputations and image. You know life is evolutionary, and anybody who chooses the same reality forever is already dying slowly. You know this. You know, Leparalak. Don't you are not impressed by somebody saying, I've worked at this company for 15 years. When somebody tells you this, in your heart, you get disgusted that they thought that is all they had going on. But you're not judging them when you think like this. It is your anointing. Your anointing is evolutionary. It does not like ball and chain methodologies. Now, going back to the insecurity, Leparalak. This anointing of yours, it caused people to feel small around you. Hence, they projected questions that limited your belief in acting on what you were sensing and what you were confirming within. I'm being told that a lot of them, after a long time, they realized that when you were around them, these people who were judging you, when you were around them, you would make big things into small things and finish solving them quickly, or you'll make small things very important. Like the smallest detail, you would pick it up and mention it to everybody else. And this intricate awareness of yours made a lot of people check themselves, like, why didn't I see it like this? And for every child watching me who has parents that used to praise you for being clever in the house and now you are annoying, now you are tiring, it is because there was a time in your life as a child you didn't know insecurity. You were free to be you. You would ask mommy, you would ask daddy, you would ask uncle, auntie, sister. You would ask questions that were in your awareness, and it caught many people off guard, Leparalak. It had no choice but to, because how come you, the 2-year-old, the 3-year-old, are recognizing things a person who says and claims they are mature is missing? You have, at the time when they discovered this about you, be honest, Lepar. They were taking videos about you, posting it online. Hey, look at how smart my baby is. Yes, you were the prestigious baby back then. But then later on, when they started praising you, that dopamine effect started making you be more aware of more important things in life. So you started mentioning them more. And the more you mentioned small things that could be addressed so that they can maintain the big things later on, was the more people realized they don't think deep as you. And that is when the competition started. That is when your mother started feeling jealous that you get more attention than her. But because people give the two of you attention, she has no choice but to walk with you. But deep down, she has already compared herself with you slowly. Your spiritual guides felt this also, that your mother felt insecure around you at some point. Yes, some mothers are like this. Some fathers are like this. It starts small in the family. The first time you learn jealousy in the world, you learn it in your family. And then after that, you learn it in school, in workplaces, and so forth. But it's also your family. This is why when you choose to have a family, you're not really choosing the person with feelings. You're choosing their disposition, where they are coming from, and what they can bring to the table. Because whatever they can bring will affect the kids that you start with them. You understand? So choosing a partner long term is very critical, Le Paralog. It's very critical, Le Paralog. It's very, very critical. But your ability of taking small things and making them sound important enough to be addressed, was that part about you that got you hated, Le Paralog? Can I say something? Maybe in school, because I'm seeing this as well. In school, like, it doesn't matter where it was. The first time you realized it doesn't matter if you give somebody your answers. They didn't study. They're gonna get dopamine for that one quick thing because they got the right marks. But later on, they can't prove it in a project, in an assignment, in anything. It shows. Because they didn't address the small parts of opening a book and reading at least a sentence. That is very small. But you saw that. You saw that one sentence at a time is better than rushing everything all at once. So you started appreciating reading 5 sentences every 10 minutes. At least 5 sentences is a paragraph. You are somewhere. What if the chapter has 29 paragraphs and you are just done with the first one? That means you are left with 28 and you know it. So instead of reading the whole book, you start reading how many paragraphs are here, not sentences. And then you see that, oh, chapter 2, chapter 7, it has 19 paragraphs. If I can go through a day reading at least 5, I have 14 paragraphs remaining. Now you have a strategy for reading every chapter because you were able to see how a book is made. It starts with a sentence. A sentence is made up of words. Words are made up of characters. You understand? You saw the pattern that, oh, verbiage is just scale. And this detailed mindset of yours is the one that triggers people, le paralak. It is the one that triggers people. Like, you are a tarot card reader who understands the symbologies on your tarot cards, because I'm seeing them now and I don't have tarot cards, le paralak. You are a person who sees through water. You put on a candle and you see through it. You can see the messages of a candle and you feel connected to the candle, to the water, to whatever. And you're wondering, why is it? But now you are a professor at discernment. Even if you underplay yourself, you are a professor at discernment, Lebar. With your cards, with your healing sessions there, with your sermons, you are a professor in those things. Because you took time in addressing the small details of what makes you, Lebar. You realize that as a child, it's not that you were gifted and intelligent or smart or however your family labeled you. No, you were just aware. You were so in tune with yourself that you became aware of things around you, le paralak. And unfortunately, this caused a lot of hate in your life. Because even people who are not supposed to compare themselves with your level of thinking, they compared you to that level of thinking, Lebar, and they had no choice. This is why people gave you nicknames. They gave you nicknames because when they see you, they see a version of themselves that they cannot meet. So they call you that nickname that addresses what they feel or sense about you. That's why most of you come from places where some nicknames that you were given were out of jealousy. Like nicknames that mention your private parts, your facial body organs, things like this. People will give you names because of such, because they have no real authenticity about themselves, that they are ashamed to be around somebody who's fresher and younger and more curious than them. It happens, le paralak. Ask many people who were sacrificed by their parents, by their family members. It's the level of detail you have and the fact that you can scale that small thing is what makes you stand out, le paralak. Somebody's thinking of selling fat cooks at the corner there with a hot burning oil there. And when they tell you that they want to do this to have a little bit of income, you think bigger. You say to yourself, why don't I connect with wholesalers who sell flour? Then get a bundle. Then start having a platform where I can sell my fat cooks, not create many fat cooks and hope for the best, but you sell your fat cooks on order. Somebody 5 houses down is ordering 4 fat cooks from you. You prepare the mealing and stuff like that. You bake the 4 cookies. They get them fresh immediately. You understand? Now you have a system of saying, I will not bake or fry anything until an order is made. Because if I sell fat cooks at the corner, I'll have to make all of them, let them fill a bowl there, and if nobody buys them, they dry up. That's wasted money. You saw things like this because you were able to take the smallest detail and scale it in a manageable way. Someone used desperation energy to scale their idea. They are desperate for money. They are taking their last cents without planning, and they are there at the corner there, their house there, wherever they are selling their things. And they are selling these things because at that time, le paralak, that's their level of thinking. They cannot see the details enough to scale them in a managerial way. But you have that special ability, Lebar. I have to talk about you, Lebar. The world has to know that people like you exist. You have an ability of taking the smallest detail and scaling it for profit. You are a good entrepreneur if you are in that arena. Yeah. And you have the ability of asking questions that make people humble. Because you can go to the minute detail of things, Lebar. That is what makes you a great producer in any arena you have. 9:33 on the clock, Lebar, on the video's time, and 11:33 on the South Africa's time also. So 33 energies in the chat, Lebar. Please continue on creating mock-ups from these small ideas that you have. God is blessing them, and that's why you are hated on, Lebar. Loyal chosen ones.